Hello everyone again. Thank you for tuning in and watching our live video, an online video rather, of the opening of Across the Table here at Purple Noon Gallery. The reason we do this is so that you can get to know a little bit about each artist, and also so that we can get up close to the paintings and have a really good look. Now I'd like to welcome everyone, and firstly, welcome to my three artists here who have joined us for the opening. Again, it's an online opening because of our COVID era, but welcome to Dr. Lucila Zentner, Lisa Hoelzl and Louise Frith. I'm going to ask each of the artists a couple of questions. I know all of them have very, very busy lives, juggling full-time work, art practices and families. All three of you are in that category. So again, thank you for coming out and being part of the show, and thank you. It's been an absolute joy working with the three of you, and it's a collaborative exhibition. We've worked together with the artists, two painters and one ceramicist, and we've worked on putting a body of work together that complements both the paintings and the ceramic pieces. So Lucila, I'll start with you. How do you juggle these things, and how is it that we get to where we are with this absolutely stunning work?
That's a difficult question to answer. I think I mostly paint at night or on the weekends. I do have an official painting day where I'm not at the hospital being a doctor. And that is also the day that gets used for many other things. And I also have two beautiful children that share the space with me. So it's a collaborative effort to find the time to paint.
Right, and you talked earlier about the names of your paintings being incredibly important to you. Why is that?
Okay, let me point to this one here called Once This Vase, the larger of the paintings. So this is a vase, much as it is, has artistic license and has changed from what the real vase looks like. It used to belong to my husband's grandmother in Russia.
Oh,
and
wow.
It struck me when I was painting it that it has held many flowers over its time. This is a woman who I never met in a country that I've never been to. There's just a bit of a history to the object, and the painting has a lot of depth of history and story, and I was just imagining what it has seen and what people have seen in it over time. And the little painting in front of it is just a little bowl of persimmons, but it happens to be in a bowl where, again, there's a bit of artistic license, but I bought a bowl of Lisa's, which just kept appearing in all my paintings. And it contains persimmons, and persimmons are very dear to me because that is the fruit that my husband used to always offer me when we were courting. Would you like a persimmon? So there's a little bit of a story behind everything, and a reason for why it is meaningful to me, which is entirely different to why it will be meaningful to somebody else, because one will see different things in paintings. But I like to give a name that is that tells the truth about the kernel of the painting.
Oh, fabulous. So that sort of brings me to you, Lisa. I mean, again, you juggle with working as a lecturer at one of the universities in design. You work in your Marrickville studio, you hold classes, and yet you're still able to supply us work for a beautiful exhibition. Now, everything in this exhibition, in a way, centres around a particular bowl, the bowl that Lucila bought. And we can talk about that later. But right now, do you want to sort of mention a little bit about how your arts practice works?
Firstly, there's nothing like a deadline, is there? And
in joke,
Lucila had this lovely idea to have this exhibition based on, well, with the bowl that she bought of mine, which is imaged up in that little painting there. To have an exhibition that complemented ceramics and painting, and as a painter originally myself, I thought that was pretty interesting because it's something I've always wanted to do, but for the last 11 years I've been really seduced by ceramics totally, and the three-dimensional form. And so the idea of looking analytically, or at the object as a series of planes again, sort of through my painter's eyes was really interesting, because we had this wonderful painting day, and watching Lucila and Louise break down forms, you know, into flat planes gave me the idea for doing the cubist jugs. Also, you know, a lot of my work is a homage to great painters of the past that I've admired, and so, you know, the table, the still life brought up images of, for me, jugs came immediately to mind, and so that was my starting point to make some jugs, and that led to bowls of a similar structural nature. Yes, but then it kind of changed. So it started off with, Lucila saying, can you give me some more ceramics to put in the still lives? And I couldn't make the ceramics fast enough for her to paint them. And so then I started to glaze my ceramics, sort of taking inspiration from your paintings, Louise and Lucila, some of which unfortunately are still in the kiln. But you'll see them
so
online
we had one
soon.
little hiccup, and I think one of the nice things about this little discussion is that nothing always runs as smoothly as you expect it to, but we've had a lot of fun, and I've absolutely loved hanging this exhibition, just that body of work and having been part of all of it, because even though I was there on our collaborative day and can't do very much other than just sort of take photos, it was lots of fun, and I did, and it's a shame that we didn't bring the little sketchbooks that everyone, that would have been nice, but you know, we all live busy lives. Which brings me to Louise. Louise, your paintings have so much calm about them. They're beautiful. They really are lovely, and obviously you too have a busy life in the middle of a pandemic. How do you go about starting these beautiful paintings?
Well, it's interesting actually that you say they have a lot of calm in them, because people say that to me a lot, and it sort of surprises me in a way. But I think I have always just had a fascination with nature, and a lot of my, you know, if I go for a daily walk, I stop and observe the plants and how they're working. And so painting, I think, is painting flowers or gum nuts or whatever it is that I find is part of that calmness. I think comes through processing how the structure of the plant and how they work, and yeah, so I find it, I've always kind of, you know, if I've looked at something like a bud on a lemon tree about to open, then I'm going back the next day to see it open, and then I'm going back to see the fruit forming, because it's just, you know, interesting to me how they work. So painting is kind of part of that. I think when I'm painting, I'm sort of exploring how the plant's actually working.
Yeah, I think that's lovely. I think it shows in the work actually. I'm just sort of looking at some of them, and I can imagine that the next day, you know, these are both indeed together. And I tried to recreate and put some of the Chrysanthemum and Australian natives in a vase, and of course I left it too late to get to the florist and what have you, but that's the story. Look, thank you so much for coming along. I would like to ask more questions, but we get lots of feedback from these interviews, and people like watching them because they're short and sharp, and we do a tour next. We go around and we look at all of the paintings, and each artist will talk a little bit about each painting, and it gives you an idea of perspective, size, and prompts the artist to think a little bit about each one. So thank you again for tuning in. The exhibition will be on until the 30th of October. Everything will go online right now, so you'll be able to make purchases, or you can ring the gallery, or you can just pop into the gallery and have a little look, because it really is a beautiful show. So thank you again, and thank you, artists.
Thank you, Robyn.
Thank you.